Hello, today's video will cover the sixth house. The sixth house, as you know, is not a good house. It is one of the Dusthanas. As you know, a Dusthana house is the sixth, the eighth, and the 12th. And it is a house of difficulties, and therefore it's not a good house. The sixth house signifies diseases. That is the major signification of the sixth house. Of course, there are other significations as well. Enemies can be determined through the sixth house. Debts can be determined through the sixth house. Your ability to do hard work can be determined by the sixth house. Any kind of obstacles which you face, just like other Dusthana houses, also can be related to the sixth house. And also, the sages have described that the mother's brother is also determined from the sixth house. But that's not a major signification. Of course, the major signification here, what we'll be talking about, would be diseases, enemies, and also one of another significations of the sixth house is karma. And why I say karma is because this house talks about our ability to do karma in this present lifetime. And we are not talking about the past life karma. We are talking about the karma which we undergo or which we do to overcome these difficulties. So in case of a debt, we will do karma to take care of that debt. In case of enemies, we'll go out of the way to do karma to deal with this issue of enemies. It could be either dealing with an enemy with an iron hand, being very tough with it, or also extending a hand of friendship. But all this requires effort. So this is an extremely karmic house as well. To deal with all kinds of obstacles is a very karmic thing. So it's a house of karma. Diseases, how do we deal with our diseases? We have to, deal it through medication or being very disciplined in our food and eating habits, or exercising or yoga. That's karmic, very karmic. So the sixth house is dealing with our karma, which we have to perform in this lifetime, because all these problems, difficulties, enemies, debts are a result of our past life karma, and we have to overcome that past life karma or prarabdha, which we get in this lifetime through hard work and through doing good karma. So this is a relationship, a direct relationship to karma with this house as well. Now, sage Parashara has provided his views on the effects of the sixth house. He says definitely that the major signification of the sixth house is diseases. And he also talks about sixth house being a house of enemies as well. But the major emphasis, according to sage Parashara, for the sixth house is diseases. So here is what he has mentioned about certain combinations related to the sixth house. He says that if the sixth house lord be in the sixth itself, or be in the ascendant or lagna, or be in the eighth house, there will be ulcers or or an ant bruises on the body. Second thing which he has mentioned, which is very important, the zodiac sign which becomes the sixth house. So if we look at a chart and see, well, say for example, the zodiac sign is shown as Cancer. So Sage Parashara says that we have to look at what part of the human body does that zodiac sign represent, and that will be the problem area of that person related to his diseases. So very carefully we have to see what zodiac sign is representing the sixth house in a chart, and then that'll give us an indication of the kind of diseases and that part of the limb of part of the body of that individual which will be a problematic area as far as that person's diseases are concerned. Also, another combination which Sage Parashara has mentioned is about various planets related to the sixth house concerning the parts of the body. So if Sun is related, the planet Sun is related to the sixth house, the part of the body which is associated is the head. If Moon is associated with the sixth house, the part of the body which is associated with his diseases would be the face. If Mars is related to the sixth house, the part of the body which will be associated to his diseases will be the neck. If Mercury is associated, it will be the navel and areas around the navel. If Jupiter is associated with the sixth house, the diseases will be related to the nose as that part of the body. If Venus is associated with the sixth house, the diseases will be related to the eyes. If Saturn is associated to the sixth house, the disease will be associated to the feet. And the part of the body which he has related to Rahu and Ketu, related to the sixth house, is the abdomen area. So this is what he has described about the sixth house related to planets. And earlier he has also mentioned that, look at the sixth house, see what Rashi or what zodiac sign it was representing, and that zodiac sign is related to a particular limb of the body, which we'll discuss in our future videos. We'll have a video on what zodiac sign actually represents what part of the body. So he says that look at that Rashi or zodiac sign which is representing the sixth house, and that part of the body will be the problem area as far as the diseases are concerned. Now, another combination which Sage Parashara talks about, that in case Moon is sitting in the ascendant or Lagna, and the condition is that that Moon should not be sitting in Cancer, the sign of Cancer, where it gets extremely strong, and Rahu is also sitting with the Moon, he says that one can get leprosy, and he calls it white leprosy. And in case, in the same combination, if Moon is sitting in the Lagna, and the condition is that the Lagna does not have to be Cancer, instead of Rahu, if Moon is sitting with Saturn, that will cause black leprosy. And similarly, if Mars is sitting instead of Saturn and Rahu, then this will afflict one with blood leprosy. So he talks about diseases. However, in this combination, he has not mentioned the sixth house. He has just mentioned moon. Then he talks about planets. What kind of planets will give what kind of diseases? So he says that Venus as a planet will cause diseases through females. So in present day and age, of course, we see a lot of problems related to HIV and sexually transmitted diseases. He has made a connection there thousands of years back that Venus is related to the diseases through females, and we understand that that pretty much is the relationship there. Saturn will cause windy diseases, because we know Saturn is an air element, so it makes sense that Saturn can cause windy diseases. Rahu, if associated with the sixth, will cause danger or diseases through low caste men, and Ketu can cause diseases related to the navel area and the abdomen area. Mars causes hardening of the blood vessels and also wounds in the body and hits by weapons. And this all comes when these planets which we are talking about are related to the sixth house. So first he talks about the zodiac sign, then he talks about the planet which, if associated with the sixth house, can cause diseases, and then he is describing what planet can give what kind of diseases. Sage Parashara also talks about the timing of illness. The timing of the illness is described by Sage Parashara as follows: that a person will be sick throughout his life or ill throughout his life if Saturn is with Rahu, so that's a combination, and at the same time the sixth lord and the sixth house are conjunct with malefics. So there's a direct connection here with the sixth lord and the sixth house. So the condition here is that the sixth house and the sixth lord should be afflicted by malefics, and Saturn is with Rahu wherever he is. And we know that Saturn gets extremely afflicted when Rahu is sitting with it. So that is a very dangerous combination, and Sage Parashara says that somebody will be sick or ill throughout his life. Then as far as timing of illness is concerned, he says that a person will suffer from severe fever at the age of 6 and the age of 12 if Mars is in 6th while the 6th lord is in 8th. It's a very interesting combination, and I know it's very difficult to remember these combinations, but the more we practice, the more accurate we will become in our readings. So here the condition once again is, in case Mars is sitting in the 6th while the 6th lord is in the 8th, then one will suffer from severe fever at the age of 6 and at the age of 12. So he is very accurate in describing the timing of the illness. Then he says that in case the planet Moon is either in Sagittarius or Pisces, which are the zodiac signs of Jupiter, while Jupiter, which is the lord of those zodiac signs, is 6th from Lagna, or it's sitting in the 6th, one will suffer leprosy at the age of 19 and 22. Very interesting. because we can do some case studies and see in a combination like this, if moon is sitting with, or moon is sitting either in Sagittarius or Pisces, and the lord of Sagittarius or Pisces, which is Jupiter, is in the 6th, Sage Parashara has very clearly mentioned that one will suffer leprosy, and exactly at the age of 19 and 22. Another combination related to the timing of illness is if Rahu is sitting in the 6th house and the Lagna Lord or the Ascendant Lord is in the 8th, and Mandi is sitting in an angle, and Mandi is a planet, another planet which is related to the planet Saturn, and we will have a video on that as well, but he talks about Mandi in this combination. And Mandi is not one of those major 9 planets. Mandi is one of the lower planets, and we'll discuss about that later. But the combination here is if Rahu is sitting in the 6th, Lagna Lord is sitting in the 8th, and Mandi is sitting in an angle, the problem related to that person as far as its diseases are concerned will start at the age of 26. Now here we have to understand that the 6th house is the house of diseases. It's not the house of health. A lot of astrologers describe the 6th house as the house of health, and that is not true. The house of health is related to the Lagna or the Ascendant. The diseases and the timing of diseases can be determined by the 6th house. Of course, diseases can eventually cause loss of health, but as far as the significations are concerned, it's very clear that the Lagna means health in general, and the 6th house means diseases. Another combination which Parashara has said about the timing of that person would be that there will be disorders related to the person's spleen or intestines at the age of 29 and 30, in case the Lord of the 6th and the Lord of the 12th are in exchange of their Rashis, meaning which the Lord of the 6th is sitting in the zodiac sign of 12, and the Lord of the 12th is sitting in the zodiac sign of the 6th. So it's exchange of zodiac signs, it's not exchange of houses, we have to remember. So this is another combination which we can remember and study in our charts. Then he talks about another timing of diseases related to the 6th house here. He says that if Saturn and Moon are together in the 6th house, they will cause blood leprosy. Now, when he talks about blood leprosy, we could relate it to blood cancer as well, leukemia. So he's saying that blood cancer is caused, or blood leprosy, which he's explaining here, is caused when Saturn and Moon are sitting together in the 6th, and he's timing it that's going to happen at the age of 45. So these are certain interesting combinations given by Sage Parashara as far as the 6th house of diseases is concerned, and especially related to the timing of diseases. So another combination which Sage Parashara talks about another combination is that there will be a loss of enemies, and the enemies will cause the loss of wealth. And in exactly the 31st year, if the 11th Lord and the 6th Lords exchange the zodiac signs. So the condition here is excuse me, the condition here is that the 11th Lord should be in the zodiac sign of the 6th lord, and the 6th lord should be in the zodiac sign of the 11th lord. So in this case, he says that there'll be a loss through enemies, and the loss of wealth will be caused through enemies, and that'll exactly come in the 31st year. So moving from diseases, Sage Parashara in this combination is talking about enemies as well, which is related to the 6th house. So as we discussed previously in this video, his main significations of the 6th house are enemies and diseases being as number 1 significator of the 6th house. A very interesting combination here as far as the 6th house and enemies are concerned. Sage Parashara explains that one's own sons will become his enemies if the 5th lord is in the 6th. So here, see, the 5th lord, which is signifying the son or the children, is sitting in the 6th, and the 6th house signifies enemies. So he says that in such a combination, one's own sons will become his enemies if the 6th lord is sitting in the 6th. However, there's another condition which needs to be fulfilled, which is at the same time the 6th lord should be sitting with Jupiter. So if you look at the whole combination, the 5th lord should be sitting in the 6th, and the 6th lord should be sitting with Jupiter, and Jupiter, as we know, signifies sons. So this combination makes a lot of sense. So that's another combination which Sage Parashara has mentioned. And there will be hundreds of combinations like this by several sages, not only Parashara. But the idea of this video is to go detailed into scriptures, what the rishis and what the sages have said, so that we know exactly and we are more accurate in our readings. We come across several astrologers who will just throw out their own imaginary ideas, as I've mentioned earlier, that okay, if the 6th lord is this, blah blah blah, if the 6th lord is that, blah blah blah. But where is the origin? We have to find the origin through the scriptures, hard work, going and reading the scriptures and doing some hard work, and then our readings are going to be more accurate. Thank you, and we will discuss about another topic in our future video.